Does your dog have trouble focusing during training sessions or struggles to behave in walks? The answer could be really simple. Exercise. Yes, exercise at a certain time. I actually exercise my dog before exercising him by taking him for a walk. So imagine this scenario. You have the same dog, and on the first day, he gets taken for a walk, just straight when his owner comes home. And he behaves poorly on the walk, and he has a hard time focusing on his trainer or his owner. And then on the second day, his owner makes sure to exercise him a little bit and then take him on his walk. On the second day, this same dog suddenly behaves a lot better, focuses a lot better, and the walk is a better experience. So, what was the difference between the two of them? Dogs build up stress while you're gone, and they tend to top that with excitement when you return and start paying attention to them. It makes this really hard for them to focus or behave. There's anxiety and there's excitement. My blue heeler was this way, a blue heeler I used to have, and I would get so frustrated trying to handle him. That all changed when I started letting him run off the anxiety energy before requiring him to focus or be on his best behavior. I would highly recommend that you try to vigorously play with your dog until they calm down enough to go on a walk or to train. Generally, I've found that about 5 to 10 minutes are enough to calm them down so they can take on the next activity without the anxiety. So throughout the day, your dog builds up anxiety energy. And like I said, this makes it really hard for them to focus. So if your dog is having trouble focusing or acts really poorly on walks, you might want to try doing this because what you're allowing your dog to do is release that anxiety. So as every dog owner knows, exercise is incredibly important for all dogs. Before you decide that you have a bad dog, try giving him more exercise, and especially vigorous exercise before training or exciting activities. For this particular exercise session, the short little one before you start with the other things, it's more about relaxing the brain and letting out the stress than anything else. And that's really the important part of what I'm trying to get across here. Then on to a more general help, I would say. For anyone struggling with behavior issues from their dog, I would highly, highly urge you to be really, really honest with yourself about if they're getting enough exercise. For almost any behavior problem, my first thing I would say would be, are you exercising your dog enough? And I would always suggest, on most levels, I would always suggest more exercise for them. For example, here's an example where my dog needed more exercise. He used to bark incessantly, and blue heelers are not known to be barkers. And he would practically bark at like anything for no reason. And I was so confused. And then I decided, what if I give him more exercise? And I started exercising him more and then making sure that I was exercising him before expecting him to behave well on a training session or in a walk or whatever. He was improving within days. So I always give him time to exercise before I expect him to behave well, because I know that he's been waiting to do things with me, as that makes him anxious and really excited when I finally start a session with him. So I would say probably one of the most important things I've ever learned in my time with dogs is that exercise, and especially vigorous exercise like a game of ball for about 5 to 10 minutes before and the next activity with your dog, is paramount, absolutely paramount. If you guys have any questions or comments, please do leave them below. If you enjoyed this video or if you enjoyed any of my other videos, please consider subscribing, and I really hope to catch you guys in the next one.